Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in front of us today we have the Google Pixel 8 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. These two devices are going to be going head to head in a quick little speed test with some apps that I have lined up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Taking a look at the specs real quick, with the Pixel 8 Pro we do have the Tensor G3 chipset and 12 gigabytes of RAM. With the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset with 12 gigabytes of RAM as well. So RAM-wise, I'm not too concerned. I did just do a test with the Pixel 8 Pro against the 15 Pro, and RAM management-wise, we had no issues. It kept open all the apps. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Starting off the first test, this is going to be the boot up test. This doesn't really tell much about the devices, but I still do include it. So in 3, 2, 1. Going to place it down, Samsung, Google. Let's go ahead and see which one boots up first. And so one thing I do want to say about the S23 Ultra, it's probably been the device that's been in my pocket for the longest time, and it's been the all-around best device that I've used so far this year. It's handled everything I've threw at it. The cameras are great. Overall, it's just a very great device, hardware-wise, camera-wise, software-wise. It's just been something that handles everything I throw at it, and it's probably my favorite device this year. So again, the Pixel 8 Pro did take it by a couple of seconds actually. The S23 Ultra wasn't too far behind, but again, it did take a tad bit longer. So let me go ahead and open up these phones, and let's go ahead and begin. Now that we have both the phones powered on and our apps set up, so here's a quick rundown of what I'm going to be doing. So first up, I do have a couple of apps right here which I will be opening just to see which one opens it up first and is faster at it, and just to see how well the apps have been optimized. After that's over, I'm going to close out everything, and then I'm going to go ahead and go through all the apps just to see if it's kept them open for the RAM management test. And in the end, we go ahead and do a Geekbench 6 test to get the CPU benchmark scores. So that is basically about it. I will have a scoreboard up top just to see which one opens up the app so you can keep track, and also I can correct stuff after I'm done with this video because I might miss something. Just make sure to let me know if I do miss something up. So let's go ahead and begin. Starting off with some stock apps, the calculator in 3, 2, 1. That did feel like the S23 Ultra. Calendar, that was the S23 Ultra. Clock, that again was the S23 Ultra. Camera, not really sure about that. Go ahead and flip them over. That is going to be the Pixel 8 Pro. Instagram, that was very close. I think that was the S23 Ultra. Again, not sure. The score will be up there. X or Twitter, they are both connected to the same Wi-Fi, and that was going to be the S23 Ultra for loading up the latest post. Groupon. All right, let's go ahead and restart this Groupon. All right, that was very close. ESPN. That is going to be the S23 Ultra. Pixel 8 Pro still loading up, trying to load it in. Struggling for some reason. Going to redo that. ESPN. That is going to be the S23 Ultra, and we're still waiting on it to load. Amazon. That's going to be the S23 Ultra. eBay. That was the S23 Ultra, I believe. YouTube. That is going to be the S23 Ultra. Chipotle. I think that was the Pixel 8 Pro. Smash Your Road Wanted. Let's go and see now that we're on our games. These might have some differences. S23 Ultra, then the Pixel 8 Pro, not far behind. Temple Run 2. Again, see very close this time. Not exactly sure. And that does seem like the S23 Ultra. So let's go and wait up for this. We do have a separate update right here, but again, both apps have been updated to their recent update that are on these devices, so they should be on the same version. Go ahead and click play on both these, close out. Asphalt 9. Let's go ahead and see. Again, waiting up on these devices. And that does seem like the Pixel 8 Pro. Unfortunately, with the S23 Ultra, it did say update the app. So again, they have been updated. It's just in game. They sometimes do have some updates. Dead Trigger 2. that seems like the S23 Ultra, and if we click play, again, very similar, just have to wait for that final intro. And again, that seems like the Pixel 8 Pro, I think, but again, very close. Alright, so those were our apps right there. Again, the S23 Ultra did perform really well. Again, as I've said, I've been a fan of this device. It's done everything I've thrown at it, except for Asphalt 9. We did have a slight issue there. But now that we've opened up all the apps, let's go back just to see if they've kept them all open. Alright, no issues so far. It does just open up the camera. The Pixel does rotate back to the rear camera. I have noticed that with other tests. X is still there. Groupon, no reload so far, which is looking good. Amazon, again, no reloads. eBay, still there. So we just had a reload on YouTube for the S23 Ultra. No reloads, and still no reloads. So S23 Ultra did fail to keep open 2 apps right now. So the Pixel 8 Pro is actually outperforming the S23 Ultra right now. And we have Asphalt 9 still open, so no issues there. But again, unfortunately, with the S23 Ultra, it did fail to keep open 2 of the apps. So Smash Your, I believe, Temple Run 2 and YouTube. So the Pixel does take the RAM management test. Alright, now that we've actually gone ahead and opened up all of our apps, let's go ahead and move on to our Geekbench 6. I'm going to go and close out all the apps in the background, and let's get into Geekbench 6. So in Geekbench 6, we're going to go ahead and run a CPU benchmark to see which one outperforms the other one. And again, I will go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts with day-to-day usage. I've daily driven these devices for a while now, but again, these tests are still important for me, so I do want to check them out. So let's go and wait for this to finish. Once that's done, I'll get back to y'all. So after a quick little wait, we do finally have the results in front of us, and let's go ahead and quickly take a look at them. So single core for the Pixel 8 Pro, we do have 1,767, and on the S23 Ultra, we do have 1986. So not too big of a difference with the single core score. And then moving on to the multi-score, we have 5167 on the S23 Ultra and 4428 on the Pixel 8 Pro. And again, not too big of a difference. So just by looking at the scores, you might think, you know, these are very similar devices. They perform really well, but let me go ahead and give you guys my own experience with this. So far with both these devices, I have actually used the S23 Ultra for the longest amount of time compared to the Pixel 8 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro. But again, I did manage to use the Pixel 8 Pro for around 2 months, and I did use this for a little more than that. So day-to-day usage, I did notice that the S23 Ultra actually outperforms the Pixel 8 Pro. The Pixel 8 Pro is still a little buggy. It might be because of the software, Google's own OS. But again, I've noticed that Samsung has refined One UI really well, and so far I've had no issues. Everything works and functions really well. Nothing is bugging or lagging like previous generations on Samsung's One UI versions before this. I did see some issues with it, but with the S23 Ultra, I think they really refined the device and the software for the device. So again, day-to-day usage, the S23 Ultra has been the better device for me. I do like how Google does their own thing. I like how their OS looks more than One UI, but again, when using it in day-to-day usage, I do see that the S23 Ultra is better. So that'll basically wrap it up for this video. As always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.